All right. Game balance isn't real. This is very interesting video that I wanted to watch, and I'm curious about all your guys' opinion on it.
The point of this video and its examples isn't to point fingers or say I'm the best or something like that.
Not point finger.
It's to use our history to observe lessons to help you understand my perspective on game balance.
I wouldn't say Dante's Infinite is balanced. That's number one.
Hey YouTube, glad you've been enjoying all the videos. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as like and share the video.
Let's be real. Fairness is not a selling point.
True.
And people don't generally buy games because they're fair. Why do people buy games or download them in the case of games that don't require a purchase? Well, the game looks fun. You can do a bunch of cool stuff.
The game looks sick.
Explosions, style, mastery. Every person's definition of fun is unique, and the type of fun they seek is their primary motivator when deciding what to play. People also buy games because
my game's
of FOMO.
balanced.
Their friends or their community are playing. They don't want to be left
my
behind.
friends swap
Gamers will
games.
As a developer, if I could get you to buy your Super Nintendo copy of Street Fighter 2, my relationship with you ended right then and there. Wouldn't have mattered to me how long you played the game or what you thought of the game balance or the fairness or any of that. Even
Nobody
if the
cares
game
about
was
balance.
deeply unfair, you'd likely only be playing it against your local friends, and none of you were good enough at the game for that to even really matter.
It didn't matter.
So now it's become just as important to keep players from quitting as it is to get them to buy or download the game.
Yeah, you don't want your player to buy the game and then quit immediately.
If you want to stop players from quitting, you need to fully understand why they quit. Players quit because
on the podcast, I have
sometimes it's not about the game itself, and there isn't anything you can do. Maybe a new game came out and pulled their attention away. Perhaps real life happened, and that drastically lowered the... So, to summarize, games no longer are sold in a box and left as is. Competitive games need to last for years just to justify the rising cost of development. Developers are expected to keep players engaged in playing. That means frustration is a real problem that must be dealt with, boredom is a real problem that must be dealt with, and so developers decide on goals, and then they tinker with their games, and this gets called, rather interchangeably, game tuning, or game patching, or game balancing. But each of these terms has their own definition.
Boredom, to me, that's kind of the main thing people have been saying with 6, is more so boredom, and I guess frustration's also there too. But the frustration is like, you're getting thrown. The frustrations from the beginning of Street Fighter 6 have been there since the beginning. Like, the frustration's always been there. I feel like it's more so the boredom because you've kind of seen it all already.
Most players' primary driver for wanting game balance is the idea of fairness. They think they want a game in which all options are equally viable, and they can rank up or win a tournament with any character or weapon or team comp that they choose. They want a game where the tools they use are objectively powerful, but are perceived as fair by others, and that those tools are rarely used against them. If the game doesn't feel fair to an individual, that individual gets frustrated. Viewers matter a lot to any modern competitive game.
I don't think that was true. I don't think players want fairness.
The viewer's primary driver for wanting game balance is variety. They want to tune into live streams and see like a lot of different characters and team compositions. And
that was the Overwatch League one. People hated Overwatch League because Overwatch League was like same team comp versus same team comp. That's kind of the bad thing about like hero shooter, because that happens a lot.
It's a lot less fun when the top
you know, this one goes down in 2xKO history. This one's nuts. This one is still crazy to see. This Leroy one's pretty old though.
Selections look like this. If the choices being made on screen are too repetitive, viewers get frustrated.
This one, I mean, that one's 100% true. I'm also like that. I don't like watching a tournament where it's like 8 of the same character or something. Like, oh, it's another Mind Mirror. That's why, there was a Street Fighter League where Doguro was like, this game's mad boring. It's just like my Bison and Akuma or something. And like, I didn't even watch that Street Fighter League because I was like, bro, I don't care. That, to me, this one's really up there. No one trying to watch the top 8 with 3 of the same characters.
Without context, data is often worse than useless. It can make you think a problem exists where there isn't one, and it might lead you to making decisions that remove the fun of some of your players. Data without context is dangerous. We should also consider...
Anyone can have fun doing anything. Somebody could have fun dragging their balls across glass. I don't count what's fun and what's not fun, but that's just life.
Using Street Fighter 6's publicly available telemetry, we can see such a case in action. Dhalsim, Lily, Honda, Rashid, Blanka, and Kimberly are the bottom 6 characters in terms of use rates and ranked, both across all ranks overall and when isolating the master rank players. And yet, the characters with the highest win rates in master rank are, in order, Honda, Kimberly, Dhalsim, JP, Blanka, Rashid.
The only one that's not there is Lily, which is kind of funny. But this is, to me, there's bad players lowering the win rate. While there are so many strong, like Akuma, Mai, Ryu player. There's also just like, they're lowering the win rate of those characters, while Honda's low pick rate is, if this one guy's really good with Honda and he's just beating everyone with Honda, can't really do anything about that.
So if we can't really trust data to guide us, we should probably talk to the players in our community, right?
Yeah, talk to me.
After all, they play the most, they're often extremely skilled, and they know the game pretty damn well.
That's me, right?
Well,
yeah.
Unfortunately, even though most of them don't
never lie.
players frequently lie too.
I don't lie.
If you've been in or around game dev long enough, you've certainly heard the phrase, players don't know what they want. This isn't entirely true in my experience.
I know what I want. I do think a lot of players don't know what they want, but the players that don't know what they want are like the diamond players, bro. It's the people who are like, I want Akuma to shoot a Kamehameha out of his hand. Those are the people who don't know what they want. I'm not like that. Players lie for sure, but there's like levels of players lying though. I feel like it's such a, if I'm like, yo, I want Manon's crouch light kick to be +1 because +1 on hit, because move shouldn't be minus on hit. And then the other guy is like, oh, well, I want Rashid to summon a second tornado when he does level 2. One person's crazy and the other person actually has like a logistical buff that you could actually want.
So in a way, players do occasionally know what they want. It's just that they don't usually know the least destructive way to get there. Most of your user base will lie to you, but I'll state again, they usually don't mean to. They're generally well-intentioned and they just want the game to get better. But better for who?
Nobody wants their character nerf. Everyone wants somebody else's character nerf. But yes, a lot of players are like that too, but those are the players I think who are actually lying. If you're like, okay, I want mine nerfed. What do you want nerfed about mine? Mine should lose EX fan. She shouldn't have that move. That's not possible. Like, those are the people I think are 100% wrong. Mine shouldn't have EX fan anymore. Delete the move from the game. You're going way out of left field. You're actually not even contributing to the conversation. If somebody's like, oh, I think mine should get nerfed, I think she shouldn't have an info level 1, she has a DP, then it's like, okay, that's respectable. I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, some people just go like, the complete opposite side. Mine should have a throw loop. Mine shouldn't have EX fan. She shouldn't get stopped. Her level 3 should give me life.
Their idea of a better game is
selfish,
very commonly one in which they, with their character or weapon of choice, can win more easily. Things that beat their playstyle get weakened, and their playstyle gets stronger, and no one complains about their playstyle, so they can feel good about using it.
I think that's
I used to think this way myself.
Yeah, I don't think people do that. I don't think anyone, at least for me, when I even play fighting games, I'm not thinking, man, this guy hate the way I won. I feel bad. Nobody cares about that, bro. If I beat you, who cares? Like I said, I complain about throw loops and drive rush all the time. I don't think people are like, oh man, I beat iDom with throw loop. I'm such a bad player. I don't think anyone's thinking that. I don't think anyone feels bad that you beat somebody with a scrubby playstyle.
Is a major issue that puts a lot of social pressure on devs that can be very difficult to navigate.
One of the Strive devs said that, not when they made 2.0, but like when they made like 3.0, they were like, one thing he doesn't like about modern gaming is like, I think Hotashi said something about a certain character and he's like, this character needs to be nerfed. And so many people just started bandwagoning oh, this character should be nerfed. This character is broken. This character is broken. And like all the data was suggesting, bro, this character is not that good. So you're just hating on this character to hate.
And eventually, developers that nerfed the character despite Sonic Fox's insistence that Captain Cold was indeed weak and just counterpicked certain characters well.
I don't like that example. I think Sonic Fox kind of just gapping in
Super Street Fighter. In an even more dramatic example, let's look at Super Smash Bros. Melee, one of the most popular competitive games of all time.
Amza Yoshi
has not been patched since the 1.02 Player's Choice.
Amza Yoshi, I already know where this is going.
2003.
This one's so obvious. And Donkey Kong has been popping up
history of
recently
community agreed upon tier lists to rank the strongest and weakest characters. By all conventional wisdom, Yoshi sat as the 21st
I already knew Yoshi was
game,
coming up.
Arguably the hardest melee major of all time.
Was Yoshi OP?
Yoshi now sits as the 10th best character in the game on community tier.
Okay, Melee, to me, Melee is much weirder because, like, obviously you have the strong characters, but I guess a lot of top players are so used to only playing against the strong characters that I do think maybe, like, a lot of the characters on the bottom have hidden potential. But this is a very old game, and even with how Melee works, you could still just kind of gap with movement. Movement in fighting games, to me, keeps a lot of these games more interesting, unless the character literally can't move, like Bowser. Like, Bowser will forever be bad, because Bowser can't do a lot of the normal stuff. Same with Marvel 3. Like, Heshenko is hard to be good because Heshenko literally just can't play the game. Yoshi can still move.
You cannot measure your success by measuring fairness, as the only way to do so, data or player surveys, are frequently misleading.
And to say vibe, to me, vibes is such an unfair kind of like way to see it. I get what he's saying. Like, the vibes are always going to be important no matter what game you're playing. Like, High Guard had bad vibes, so a lot of people stopped playing High Guard, and that game's dead. But it's hard to measure vibes, if that makes any sense.
Should that character be equal in theoretical power output with a character that's trivial to learn?
That's a fighting game dilemma that people nowadays can't even answer that. Should the hard character be the best character in the game, or should the easy character be the best character in the game? Even in Street Fighter 6, Strive, I think, did a good job with it, because they kept saying they thought it was good that Happy Chaos was the best, because that character wasn't easy to play. So they kind of went with that metric, but then so many people start complaining. Even with Zato in the beginning, Zato is one of the best characters. That character wasn't easy to play, but then it frustrates so many players. That one's such a weird thing. 6 is weird because, like, I do think a lot of the simplistic characters are the best, but then you just see so many of them. I mean, that's just so many people yelling at you different things. Like I said, for some people, it's like, oh, maybe it is good Happy Chaos is the best. I'm not going to run into that many Happy Chaoses, and this character is kind of hard to play, so give him the benefit of the doubt. Versus like, oh, well, I got to play Mai for the 15th time, and this Mai is just going to do, EX fan and drive rush at me, and, I've seen this story 12 million times.
Multi-gear developers worked hard to flatten the game using data. They'd end up destroying many players' favorite playstyles, and the result would almost certainly be a game with less variety for viewers. And we did, in fact, end up seeing this in motion at the launch of
beginning Soul.
Strive, which
Soul
was
was bad easy,
dominated by many appearances of Soul Bad Guy, a character boasting the trifecta of easy to use,
and really strong,
and super cool. Because at launch, Strive was
bad.
more simple.
This is bad. Funny enough, this is a funny video, but this is bad. This is actually really bad. This is really bad for a game.
This, we can break down our main retention goal into smaller parts. We need to A, reduce player frustration.
And getting your character nerf is obviously very frustrating. Even if your character's OP. Like I said, people are just like that. People are selfish because they just think they're the main character or something. But player frustration from just getting your character nerf is a real thing.
This is a harmonious environment where joy and passion can thrive.
Like older games, I think Smash does this the best of all fighting games, but Smash is just lucky because Smash is Smash. You could do so many different things. Like even in Street Fighter, like you could obviously go on Street Fighter 6 and play rank, but you also have Extreme Battle, you have World Tour, etc. Smash, you could get away with it because you could obviously just smash. You could, play with item. Yeah, you have items on, you have All-Star mode. You have, what else? You got the event mode, you got the subspace, whatever they call it, the sticker thing. They have everything.
Number one, they can't play in tournaments, so they can't be selfish about two.
You need somebody good enough to play it. I mean, that's what everyone says. Good enough to play the players at tournament. But who are these guys? The person who's good enough to play the people in bracket. You know what game does have that?
Number 4, they should try to understand the feelings of players at various skill levels.
But also, I think 2XKO failed here too. I think 2XKO does not consider various skill levels a lot when doing stuff. I feel like they're only thinking about like the highest of the high level, and that kind of shoots them in the foot.
Use your hotfix system and nuke these from orbit.
That's like a mega frustrator. That really doesn't happen in modern fighting games, like I said. And then, like I said, they get nerfed so fast. A mega frustrator to me is like a Happy Chaos Infinite. Or like in fighting game terms, that's only really like infinites and game breaking bugs.
So that if something like that ever happened again, they'd help calm each other down, knowing that we'd likely...
That's a good thing. That's what I do with Guilty Gear. Like I said, when the Happy Chaos Infinite did happen, I was like, oh, ArcSys is going to fix it because they've had, they have had stuff like that in the past. And they fixed it pretty quickly. That's why that's why I trust ArcSys with kind of like, if they do something bad, they'll fix it. It might take a while, might take a few weeks, but they'll fix it eventually. They've done a pretty good job about it. Same thing with Invincible, yeah. If they do break something, I'm sure they'll fix it given like a couple of weeks.
However, if you start your combo with a quick light attack that comes out fast and hits low, and it's one of the easiest moves in the game to land, your combo damage will still be high enough to kill even the sturdiest.
Wait a minute.
Characters.
Marvel 3 is also kind of different because like no Magneto has 5 meters immediately. You see, Magneto had good meter economy, so he had 5 meters to start the combo. If Magneto starts with a light and he only has one meter he's not killing.
One of the easiest moves in the game to land, your combo damage will still be high enough.
Nobody gets level 3 like that.
But if you deliberately design weaknesses into the character kits to compensate for their more extreme strengths, which is usually where their identity and fun lie, it could be perfectly
characters
okay to
being
have a
different matters so much.
Attack has poor range, or one that can't be rapid fire canceled.
DBZ also has that problem.
One that can only successfully combo into one specific unsafe opener special.
He brought it up like character. That's where character strength actually matters. Like I said, if you have like a character who don't get good combos off of lights, and then you could be like, oh, this character doesn't have good lights, but this character has a command guy that's gonna kill your ass.
Means she should have a higher number of top level advantages than other characters. Her higher risk should be justified by a higher potential reward.
I actually partially agree, but this is like a modern fighting game problem. Because like a lot of the modern fighting games don't really justify that. Arya should be better than Saberwolf at high level because she's a harder character to play. That's fine. But when the simple thing is so strong, if Saberwolf was strong enough, then it starts getting kind of like jank. I don't know. That one is still kind of iffy for me to really kind of process. Whenever I hear this, I always bring up Magneto and Nova. I think Magneto has a higher potential than Nova, but I think Nova's much easier to play. So I think even Marvel 3 does it right. Magneto's going to do so much more than Nova. It's easier, so you might as well play Nova.
I'll place weights that represent my personal enjoyment from exploration, puzzles, and combat on the left fun side of the scale.
Every game has a give and take. So he's using Breath of the Wild as the example.
Fun ways
but
more.
I feel like every game is like this, no matter what. If you find a game fun, and like every game's going to have something frustrating about it. It's just like an average scale.
I'll place weights that even in competitive games, some frustration is totally...
Strive, bro. This is not as bad as it used to be, but booting up Strive is the worst. Oh my god.
Unrelated.
This is super frustrating. I forget about this. This is mega annoying.
Like if it takes you 3 minutes to simply log into the game and another 8 minutes to find a match. But on the gameplay side of competitive games, this concept is a series of landmines because it is extremely...
Yeah, and then like gameplay side of things, saying what's frustrating might be kind of weird. Like, you know, somebody getting infinited in Marvel 3, that guy might get frustrated.
The more fun you let a player have, the more frustrated their opponent on the receiving end of that fun is likely to be. I think we all understand.
Yeah, this guy keeps using Marvel 3 as a bad game to Turin. I don't like it. He keeps using Marvel 3 as an example as the bad game, and players getting frustrated.
But because they enjoyed doing long combos so much, the weight of their fun dropped, suddenly causing frustration to outweigh the fun for them.
Yeah, exactly. If I get hit by a long combo, at least the guy who does the long combos having fun. If I'm frustrated with getting hit, bro, if I got hit, I can get hit by a short combo. I don't care. It's the same thing.
So even the people using and abusing the technique or experiencing disengagement due to the degenerate...
Bro, is that not a throw loop? I don't understand. I feel like throw loop also lends into that category of thoughtless gameplay. And to me, I don't know, that goes back to me being like, how is somebody having fun? Because I feel like this is kind of just like very thoughtless.
Play pattern the stop sign nuke represented. Long combos or block strings in fighting games with
I don't think Marvel 3 has thoughtless gameplay. You get hit, you got to figure out how to get the conversion, and then you got to realize how am I going to be able to kill your character in one hit? I don't think Marvel 3 has that much thoughtless gameplay at all.
Or infrequent.
He's dead, by the way, but that's not the point.
Players across many genres do not respond well to losing control of their character. In fighting games, you lose control of your character every time you get hit. My own small-scale studies show players starting to disengage and have frustration spikes on average between the 6 and 8 second marks of losing control of their character.
Don't get hit. Don't get hit. Dorm's dead.
FGC,
yeah, exactly. Like, he lost control of his character again. Dormammu's dead here. He's actually just dead.
Have an extreme tolerance to this and can routinely sit through repetitive 40-second long combos on the receiving end. But this, in my experience, is not a critical mass of people. I'm not saying you should never make a game with long combos. I'm just suggesting that you need to understand the kind of audience you're trying to retain. And if the long combos do exist, find ways to make them more varied and or less frequent. Disengage.
But that, you know, chat, funny enough, the character that killed Wolverine in this match was not the same character that killed Dormammu. Like the hit that Wolverine got hit by was a instant overhead jump light kick from Nova.
Degenerate play pattern, the stop sign.
Hold on, this is why Marvel's good. Yeah, Wolverine got hit by instant overhead. Dormammu got command grab. Actually, Dormammu got guard broken command grab because he push blocked here. And then what did you call it? No, he didn't even get guard broken command grab. He hit the ground, so he got to move.
Obviously, some individuals.
Then he push blocked and got command grab. I think Marvel 3 has more varying offense than a game like Street Fighter. There's a game I will call out that I actually think had very streamlined offense too. That game's Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball hits the nail on the head there. I think Dragon Ball, even getting into it, was very, this is going to happen offense.
The result of that was a loss of fun for the core players. We failed to make enough of a dent to retain people.
But nobody, I guess, in this example, nobody's happy. Like, the core audience is frustrated, and the new player, the new players don't even care.
Optimization is the enemy. I'm not talking about software performance here. I'm talking about players optimizing their gameplay choices.
Okay, this one's also good. I've heard this, and I disagree with this a lot. I feel like there's a other side of this. I've heard people say you can optimize the fun out of a game. I agree with that, but I don't think that's true. If the game is good, if the game is to a point where you're optimizing the fun out of it, I think that's a game problem.
Where the right answers are much more obscured, or better yet, much more plentiful.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like games should be more fun when you're good at it. I think Marvel 3 is more fun the better you get at it. I think there's a lot of games like that. I think most fighting games should be like that. The better you get, the more fun you have. Obviously, not everyone's going to be good enough to be at that level in these games, but I don't think the better you get, the worse the game should be feeling. I think some fighting games are like that.
For instance, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3's fast-paced neutral and rapid decision-making
the neutral.
is one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah, Marvel 3's neutral is the fun part of the game. It's doing all of this is the sick shit.
Reason for variation and kill your character.
He's dead, though.
This optimal play gives me maximal reward.
Yeah, he's dead. Captain America's dead here.
During optimal combos quite a bit better than Marvel vs. Capcom 3. When you score a hit, the starter you used can matter a lot more. You need to look at screen position, your drive meter, your opponent's drive meter, your health, your opponent.
This is overcomplicating how 6 works. I do agree there, but this is overcomplicating. No matter what hit, no matter how this round started, he hit a drive rush jab. Basically, his combo started from getting hit by drive rush jab. That's fine. He's gonna do the combo to put Punk in the corner. I don't like that example. To me, he's, like I said, he's trying to make it the point where if you get hit in Marvel, you're gonna die. Yes, that's how Marvel works. But there's a lot of differences to why that's thing. If you get hit in Marvel by a good team, you're probably gonna die. If you play any good player, you're probably gonna die in Marvel, regardless. If Magneto throws you, you're dead. If I hit you with any character on my team, you're probably dead. Street Fighter 6, there is, like I said, drive meter obviously matters. You're not going to do a combo that's going to burn yourself out at round start. That would just be kind of stupid, unless you're like Noah. You're going to do the same combo that's going to put them to the corner, but the combo is just for positioning at that point. You're not doing the optimal damage combo because mine might do DP. Why would you do DP? That's where kind of like the life comes in. But even then, it's not really that much different.
If you made it to the end of the video, I hope this gets your brain flowing and makes discourse around.
I like this video. This is a good video, chat.